So as you're probably noticing by now, this is a video about the Southern Hospitality and why I think it's really bad and one of Engineer's worst weapons in his arsenal. But this is also the Schneider cut of the Thompson video I released. You see, there's a segment in the video where I explain how much damage that the Thompson does to each health of each different classes. Like Heavy's 300 health and Soldier's 200, etc, etc, you know, all that. But for some reason that scene was glitched and the sped up scenes ended up not corresponding well. It didn't work. So here's the Schneider cut of that video. I'm going to represent to you all of the different damage of the Thompson to each class, and yeah, so you can get a better estimate of how much damage this thing does. So yeah, it's like I say, I'm going to show you that, and then we'll start the actual video. So yeah. So as I mentioned in the last video, that the Engineer really doesn't have a lot of bad wrenches. They're either really balanced, really boring, or the Thompson. But I proved that the Thompson can be useful and reliable in certain situations. It has its uses in certain fights. But for me, there is one weapon I think cannot be useful, and that is the Southern Hospitality. Now this video is definitely going to be a lot shorter than my other videos in the future and recently, because, well, Uncle Dane already made a video explaining of why the Southern Hospitality is pretty bad, and if I restate those same statements, people will obviously comment, Uncle Dane wanna be unsubscribe, you're cringe, lol. And I don't want that, so I'm just gonna say what I think about Southern Hospitality and why I think it's the worst wrench. People say it's boring, but I think it's the worst. Remember, this is just my opinion. Let's say you have a professional or a kill streak, Southern Hospitality, don't rage at me in the comments, please. It won't make any sense. So the stats are very simple, very easy. It's the stock wrench, but you get to bleed damage for 5 seconds, no random crits, and 20% vulnerability to fire. Now, in Uncle Dane's wrench video, he said that, you know, stock wrench is pretty boring, pretty bland, not really too special, but I think stock wrench it's fine. Stock wrench is okay. It's like any other stock weapon. It does the job done. It's what it's supposed to do. But the Southern Hospitality's entire reason for existing and the stats itself, it doesn't work of what it's trying to be. For explanation, the whole point of this weapon is that it's supposed to counter spies and or be used as an actual weapon in fights. But then again, you have to be really damn close to your enemies just to do extra bleed damage for a couple of seconds. Yes, there are situations where maybe the spy is getting away, we can hit him with the bleed damage, but that comes up very rarely. Spy fights usually go by very fast. It shouldn't rely on bleed damage to finish it off. And people might say, well, the vulnerability to fire never comes into play. Well, actually, it kind of does. You see, there are some medics who like to use pyros as a way of killing engineers because of how much more powerful they are. And, you know, they're not as big as a heavy. And you're definitely going to be wandering around a lot as an engineer, and you probably will encounter a pyro. Pyros are pretty common in pubs, because, you know, free-to-plays and all that stuff. There's also the Scorch Shot and the Flare Gun, where pyros can chip away your damage from far range. That stat in itself with the 20 damage vulnerability to fire is really random and weird to me. Like, why a pyro? Why can't it be anything else? It's just so odd. But, like I mentioned before, the Engineer is a class that wanders around a lot, and the Southern Hospitality is supposed to be used for battle, so maybe that's why that stat is there. But I would say just maybe 20 damage vulnerability to everything, because that would make the most sense. Not just pyros. Limiting it to just pyros makes 0 sense. It's just such a random, stupid stat. I also have an issue with the no random crits downside, because the Boston Basher does bleed damage, but still gets random crits. And you might say, well, maybe it's there to balance it out. Well, most weapons that give you granted crits have no random crits. This is to obviously balance it out, because if you got granted crits and random crits, that would just be horrendous. It'd be awful. And yes, I know there are gonna be people commenting about that back burner still having random crits. Just don't talk about it. Please, we don't talk about this. So as we've gone over, the whole point of this wrench is to be like an aggressive engineer. He likes to smack people with his wrench. It's mainly used for one-on-one melee combat. But the problem is that melee combat in TF2 really isn't that common. It's really inefficient. I mean, you have better options for actual combat. You have a shotgun and a pistol. There's really no point to use your melee to actually do damage. And then there's obviously the argument, maybe it's used to counter spies, like the Razorback. But you're probably going to use your shotgun or your pistol to actually kill that spy than your melee. Yes, you're probably trying to upgrade or destroy the sapper, but even then, you'd probably do that afterwards. Like, as Uncle Dane said, you hit the sapper once, then shotgun the spy, hit the sapper again, shotgun the spy. So doing melee fights, which is the whole point of this wrench, it's never going to work. It's never useful in any situation. This wrench is basically useless. The upsides don't even work. The downsides are random and stupid. It's so boring. I don't have any fun playing with this wrench at all. Then there are obviously better wrenches. Like me personally, I love the Eureka effect, and the Jag effect rollout's really good. The Jag can build things faster. The Gunslinger completely changes engineer as a class, and stock wrench is just fine, I guess. There's nothing really crazy about it, so it's just what it's supposed to do. Just build stuff, and that's it. It's just, I don't know, it just feels like it could be better. It could be a really cool wrench if it just had the right stats, but I feel like it just doesn't deserve to exist in Team Fortress 2. And no offense to the creator of the wrench, because I know it's a community-created item, but I just don't have a reason to ever use this thing. Ever. But there is one situation I use it with, and that's when you're defending the final point and you don't need the Eureka effect to teleport back to spawn. It can be good, yeah, I mean if they're getting too close to you, you can hit them with your wrench for them to bleed out, and you can shotgun them, but really that's all it's used for, just bleed damage, that's it. It's really boring, really bland, and I really don't like it at all. So I think I've said the same thing like 3 times already, so I'm ending it off here. I know this was really short, but I need to get something out. Tomorrow is my birthday, so I'll be posting a video then. I made my friends really excited to post it, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video. I don't want any Southern Hospitality users to comment down below that I'm evil and I hate everything in TF2 and I deserve to go to heck. Okay, just don't comment that. It's just a waste of your time, waste of my time, and no one likes it. Alright, see you later. Stay safe, everyone.